Hi guys, welcome back to the Growers Corner. So, this is going to be our last discussion related to genetics. And this is about landrace strains. For those of you who are not familiar, landrace cannabis is another way to say cannabis that is native, for lack of a better term. Um, Another fun-filled fact is cannabis is native to basically every continent on Earth, with exception to the poles. And who knows? We haven't scaled all over the entirety of Antarctica, so it's still open for possibilities. But as a general rule, every other continent it's native to in some fashion, somewhere. Uh, And one of the reasons that is important is because, from a breeding standpoint, from a genetic standpoint, there's something called backcrossing, and it's very important, and it keeps things clean, for lack of a better term, and healthy, but also original, without variance. Okay, and environment has a lot to do with that. The plant itself will, a lot of the original genetics that came to California that were landrace strains from other countries, a lot of the original, Acapulco Gold, Panama Red, Hindu Kush, all of these things, Malawi from South Africa, they all exhibit a certain phenotype, if you will, because of their environment. They all express their genetics in a certain way because of the environment that they are used to, okay, that they have evolved in. When you take them out of that and you put them in another environment that's wholly different, Northern California, for example, over time, those genetics are going to adapt. They're going to change in small and in medium to large ways over time. And that, in and of itself, is going to make it better. It's going to make it different, and enhance characteristics one way or the other. Now, when you start talking about, there's a reason that Moroccan and Nepalese hash is renowned worldwide. Those regions have not changed, have not manipulated or increased or adapted any sort of modern agricultural techniques in hundreds of years. And they haven't crossbred or outsourced any of their genetics to any of these other places to, for lack of a better term, muddy the genetic pool. So Moroccan hash is only and can only be gotten from Morocco. Nepalese hash is the same way. The technique that they use to extract the trichromes and make these hashes hasn't changed in hundreds of years. So that's what makes landrace important. It hasn't changed, it hasn't been manipulated, it hasn't had a chance to evolve. It is also important because there are certain landrace strains that do things that others don't. For example, Ruderalis is the landrace that comes from Siberia, Russia. It is an autoflower by nature. It's one of the only autoflowers by nature that we know of. The landrace strain out of South Africa, Malawi, is legendary for supposed psychotropic effects, not just mental, but mythical or legend visuals as well. So there's a reason why we need to keep them the way they are, but also utilize them moving forward. and that's because of their uniqueness. So just something to think about. Yet another vocab word that maybe is floated around that you've seen before that you were unfamiliar with. Most of the time they do a pretty good job of explaining it and explaining what that means and where they're from. But I just wanted to elaborate a little bit and explain for those who didn't know. Until next time, this is the Grower's Corner.